Hello. I think we almost had a seamless transition between Countdown and the titles. When I say almost, I mean we didn't, because here I am. I don't think the titles played. Hello, let's play the titles. I worked damn hard on those titles, so they will be played. Right then, greetings. I hope I find you well wherever you are on this football we call planet Earth, the round type of football. I refuse to say soccer ball. But welcome to the weekly Geeknd Live, where we talk Star Wars, Marvel, and more. And if you're new here, then why not subscribe for regular content on the same subjects in the form of interviews, trivia, documentaries, parody, and more. Join the club or get lost, basically. Don't get lost. Stay here. You're very welcome here. And let me tell you more about what's coming up in this week's Alleged Entertainment. So we are going to discuss together the following subjects, both with I and you in the live chat, which I'm coming over to in a couple of moments, and also with you, their future dweller. If you're watching on the replay, you can join the conversation in the comments. I do eventually get back to pretty much every single one of them. So let's just say what's coming up before I go over to the chat, because the danger is if I go over to the chat now, I get caught up in the chat saying hello to everybody without doing the what's coming up. What is coming up? Where are my notes? Right, we're going to talk about The Bad Batch. Now, if you haven't seen the first episode, it's a long one. You don't need to worry. There's not going to be spoilers. There will be a place for The Bad Batch spoilers on this channel, which I'll talk more about later. But that place is not this show. But we are going to talk about that first episode. Let me know what you thought of it. I will let you know what I thought of it. I'll also let you know where I'm at with the Clone Wars, because as you know, I've been in a race against time to work my way through it in time for The Bad Batch. Sort of succeeded. We're also going to talk about Dave Filoni's comments on the Mandalorian season 3 and maybe hint at what is to come. And also just today, I think it was, Stranger Things, the team at the Stranger Things social media department dropped, I guess, a kind of first official teaser trailer for season 4. There was that one a while back where Hopper was revealed to be in what we presume is Russia, but I don't think that really counted as a trailer. Also, Doctor Strange almost did appear in Wandavision. We'll touch on that as well. So let me go over to the chat to see who is here already. Well, we've got a few apologies. I say a few. There's one here from Jane Flakes. Hello, friends. I cannot make it this evening, but shall catch up later. So Jane is in the future. Hello, Jane. Future Jane. Happy chatting about Bad Batch, which I thought was awesome. Jane thought it was awesome. David is here. Happy Revenge of the 6th to you, my friend. Clays, hello there. The first hello there. The first of, I'm sure, many, many hello bears. Chad is here. We call him Chad the Stopwatch Campbell because, as you can see on his second message here, he tries to keep me to time. The time he tries to keep me to is 30 minutes. Never happens, and it's all his fault. Going to mention Chad again in a moment, actually. Sige, professional as always. I like your hoodie. You're looking like a metalhead today. Yeah, man. Yeah, I like this hoodie as well. I forgot I had it. I dug it out, though, especially for usage, of course. Mark, howdy to you over in Ireland. Good to see you there, my friend. Sanely Red is in the house, as is Simon D, who also likes my hoodie. He's calling me a gangster. I don't know if that means like you're sort of applying the rap genre to me, whilst Sid was applying the metal genre to me. I'm all the genres. Hello to you, Dale. Good to see you, mate. Mark, I've seen your second message, and I don't know. I'm not going to put it on screen yet. So if you haven't seen the Bad Batch episode 1, don't look at the chat right now. But maybe people in the chat can tell me if that's a spoiler, because I'll tell you where I'm at with the Bad Batch, obviously, when we get to it. But I didn't see any of the trailers going in, so I don't know what was shown in the trailers and whether what Mark said in his second message there is a spoiler or not. or if it even really matters. Does any of it matter? So let me know. And then I'll bring that up later on when we get into the Bad Batch chat. Just going to take this annoying ticker thing off. Hang on a second. Right. Also, Daniel Rigger is in the chat house all the way from Canada. Hasn't seen the Bad Batch yet or a stream in a while. Do you mean one of these streams? Where have you been? Explain yourself, Daniel. Right. What I do now is, when I say now, I tried it last week. I go through the stories kind of one by one and don't go deep back into the chat until after the stories. So if you're here only for the stories, which you could just Google yourself, then you get them all in the first sort of 15, 20 minutes or something. And then you can disappear if you don't want to engage with all of our chat. Just going to say hello to Supreme Leader Brad Snoke, who is also here. Good to see you, Brad. And just before we get into it, Marco has deleted the message, so maybe it is a spoiler. I hope you avoided that if you haven't seen the Bad Batch yet. I don't know if it's a huge spoiler. But anyway, we will talk about that. Not that, but we'll talk about it generally later on. I just want to do a couple of bits of housekeeping. If you haven't already, please hit that like button. You can obviously, bide your time, see if you actually do real world like the stream first before you cyber like it. But, take a gamble. Hit that like button now. And also, if you haven't seen it already, the May episode of our monthly Star Wars interview series, These Are the Actors You're Looking For, is now live with Jerome St. John Blake. He of prequels fame played 7 characters in the prequels, including Rune Harko, Masameda, and Oppo Rancisis, who I genuinely did not realize was such a kind of niche fan favorite, but he is. And we spoke about him. We didn't speak about Rune Harko much because I have another Nemodian actor coming up in the future where we talk a lot of Nemodian, which sounds like Imodium, which I need, the verbal type, really, to stop me talking. I'm rambling already. Right. Okay. Also, the final bit of housekeeping is Chad, who's in the chat. Chad has a YouTube channel called The Alamo Studio. They're filmmakers. It's Chad and his mate Tyler. They're both filmmakers. I talked about one of their documentaries recently, Last Day for Videos, and also a while ago their Star Wars sort of world record attempt documentary, The Duel of the Skates. They kindly had me on their channel for a bit of a May the 4th interview. So I have linked to that in the video description. If you want to see evidence, video-based evidence that Chad is actually a real human man, not just this guy that pops up in the chat, barking orders, which I don't listen to. He is actually real because I met him virtually, at least anyway. So if you want evidence of that, and by the way, his timekeeping is just as bad in real life, because we were meant to record for a 7-minute interview, I think they were aiming for. So really with that, you want to record maybe about 10-15 to not give yourself such a hard time in the edit. I think it was about an hour, and that's all Chad's fault as well. Right. Anyway, let's get into the first story, which I did not tease about earlier, but just want to tell you a little bit about my future new favorite podcast, Lord of the Rings podcast, coming from Billy Boyd and Dominic Monaghan. Merry and Pippin themselves will relive making of the trilogy. So they've got together and they're making a podcast which will start on May the 18th, and it's called The Friendship Onion. Now, I kind of feel like Hobbitcast would be a better name. I like The Friendship Onion. I see what they've done there. I like to think if they did I know podcasts and radio are different, but I come from a radio background. I'm always think of it like in kind of radio form still. If they did a breakfast radio show, it could be Rise and Shire. Huh? Okay. So I'm looking forward to this. I've seen them together in kind of, panels on YouTube and being interviewed together, and they seem to be genuine friends. And I think all of the Lord of the Rings, the kind of core cast members were, genuine friendships were built. A genuine fellowship was built because obviously, they were out in New Zealand recording those 3 films all at once. They spent a good chunk of their lives together out there living together for a long period of time. So I reckon that could be a lot of fun and also interesting as well for Lord of the Rings fans like myself. Right. Okay. Let's get into the next thing. What was the next thing? I know what it was. Don't know if you saw this. Don't know if you care, but I do. And I'm going to bring it up anyway. But Stranger Things dropped a trailer, a sort of teaser trailer today. It's on their YouTube channel. It's on their Instagram. I imagine it's everywhere. If you haven't seen it already, and if you want to watch it full screen with volume, you can do that after the stream finishes. All right. I'm a big Stranger Things fan. I'm looking forward to this. We don't have a release date still. So it's a trailer without a release date attached to it, which is a little bit frustrating. But as you can see, if you can see anywhere, and it's pretty small, we're back at Hawkins National Laboratory. It seems to be a throwback because Dr. Brenner's there. You can see him there. Although, do you believe he really is dead? But most crucially, 11 is there in the laboratory as we first meet her, really. So I would say flashback confirmed. And we see glimpses of the Rainbow Room, which was the play area where 11 and Callie and the other child, test subjects were at. So, this teaser kind of suggests it's going to be maybe pretty flashback heavy. Now, I'm pretty sure I'm right in saying that this isn't going to be the last season of Stranger Things. I think the Duffer Brothers have already said there'll definitely be at least one more after this, maybe another after that. So if they're going to do flashbacks with the actual actors, they need to do them now because those kids are growing up fast, man. But the one shot we saw there of 11 was pretty close up, just the eyes. But I think Millie Bobby Brown still, looks pretty 11-like. If they shave that head, they can pull it off. So, yeah, maybe it's going to be flashback heavy, maybe it's a hint that we're going to go back to the laboratory for the series. I don't know. Maybe the gang have to break back in there or something to help 11 get her powers back to save Hopper or something. But obviously, the laboratory, whether it be in flashback form or real time form, is going to play a part, it would seem, in Stranger Things 4. So let me know what you think of that. If it's got you excited for it, if you weren't already. So we'll talk about that in the chat in a moment, but just want to bring up another story, which I did allude to earlier. We talked a bit about Wandavision when that was running, and there was that kind of Luke Skywalker Mandalorian cameo that was, I don't know if it was actually genuinely teased. I know my friend Paul Bettany did a joke, a prank, which sort of backfired on him because, he was the amazing actor that he always dreamt of working with. But I won't go into too much of that in case you haven't seen WandaVision. But what I am going into is that Doctor Strange did not show up. And that was kind of what people thought would be most likely if there was to be a big cameo, because we already knew that Wanda's story would continue with the next Doctor Strange films. And that might have been the kind of like the bridge between the series and the film there. But it has been more or less confirmed that they did consider it, which I guess isn't a surprise. But this is a quote from head writer Jack Schaefer. At one point back when Doctor Strange was supposed to be part of a story, the in-universe commercials were going to be messages from Strange to Wanda. And there was also talk of having Cumberbatch appear in one of the ads. That's what the aforementioned head writer said. Kevin Feige said also, I think it was this week, that really the main reason they decided not to have Doctor Strange show up in any kind of form was because it might take away the focus from Wanda. There we go. Would have taken away from Wanda. I'm trying to find the actual quote without having to read a massive quote just to get to the main point. I think we've had the main point. But anyway, I'll read it anyway, what we've got here. Some people might say, oh, it would have been so cool to see Doctor Strange, says Fahey. But it would have taken away from Wanda, which is what we didn't want to do. We didn't want the show. We didn't want the end of the show to be commoditized to go to the next movie. And yeah, I kind of agree with that, really. Like if we go back to that comparison of the Luke Skywalker Mandalorian cameo, it did take away from Din and Grogu. Like, not for me. I'm gonna if you don't believe me, I'm not just saying this. You can go back if you really have too much time on your hands. You can go back to the review I did on the channel of that final episode, and I said at the time, like, I was a bit confused about my feelings because the more it became apparent that this hooded character who got out the X-wing and was taking out the Dark Troopers was Luke Skywalker, the more that kind of dawned on me, the sort of like less I cared in a way, because I was more kind of worried, knowing that it was a Jedi, I was more worried about what Grogu would do. Will he stay with Din? Will he leave? Will he go with the Jedi, whoever the Jedi may be? And when we got that 100% confirmation with the, the cloak coming down, I still, I didn't freak out like a lot of fans did. I was still freaking out inside, at least for what's going to happen with Grogu and Din. And I think that's testament to The Mandalorian that I cared so much about those two new characters. But generally, that was the talking point, wasn't it? At the end of that Mandalorian season 2, everybody was talking about Luke Skywalker, not really Din, or Grogu. It was the cameo. So I agree. I don't think Doctor Strange is the same level, in the MCU as Luke Skywalker. He might be for some, but still, it would have taken something away from, the core character, which was Wanda, and of course, Vision as well. Right. Anyway, that's that. What else? Speaking about The Mandalorian, I'm coming over to the chat in a minute. I promise. Thing is, when I go in the chat during the stories, I just stay in the chat, don't I? And then ends up being a 5-day stream potentially. I know Chad is virtually breathing down my neck right now. So speaking of Mandalorian season 3, of course, we're all. I'm sure I can speak for everybody, right? Yeah, we're all excited for The Mandalorian season 3. We don't really know when we're going to get it. We seem to. Obviously have the Bad Batch now, and we'll have Book of Boba in terms of the next live action as far as we know. But not many details on The Mandalorian season 3. However, Dave Filoni was on, I think, a show in the States, Good Morning America. So he was on for May the 4th, Star Wars Day, apparently, and he was also promoting for Bad Batch, which we're going to talk about in a few moments. And he was asked about The Mandalorian season 3. You're going to ask him. I don't think he does that many interviews, but that question is going to be asked in every interview he does until we get concrete details, Dave. Just make your life easier and give out the details now. Anyway, he said he couldn't say much about season 3, but he did say, the Force will be strong with it. Let's just say that. So thank you to Culture Crave with this tweet there, meaning I didn't have to read the entire article to get that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 word sentence that this whole entire story is based on. Wonder what you think to this. Now, my feeling is that, to be honest, he's on Good Morning America. I imagine a bit like Good Morning Britain. The majority of the audience will not be hardcore Star Wars fans, but everybody knows what a lightsaber is. Everybody knows May the Force be with you. So perhaps it's just one of those, those lines I can say that will keep everybody happy. It's not going to baffle anybody, but actually doesn't have any direct relevance to Mandalorian season 3, because obviously, what do I know? But my feeling was that we're not going to have much Jedi time in The Mandalorian season 3. With I want Grogu to come back with Din. I love that partnership, but it would take so much away from that final episode for me if Grogu was back right off the bat, in season 3. To be honest, I feel like there's got to be a season break away from, with the two of them being separated. Perhaps he could have come back towards the end of season 3 at the earliest. But yeah, I just don't imagine a Jedi focused or much Jedi, popping up in season 3. I'm presuming it's going to be more Mandalorian focused with the Darksaber and Mandalore itself. So for me, this was just a throwaway kind of like, everybody likes the Force. I'll just say the classic line, it's Star Wars Day after all. And, it was it was a nerdy politician's answer in a way, I think, from Dave Filoni there. Or maybe you think we might have a Force strong Mandalorian season 3. Let me know in the chat, which I am coming over to right now, and then we will move on to the Bad Batch chat. So I'm going to go up the chat. Where was I last? Daniel explaining why he's not been here for previous or recent streams anyway. Time zones and working, grown-up stuff, basically. Fair enough. Simon D, have you seen the hidden Zoom interview George Lucas did with his wife last year, featured on Star Wars Theories stream recently? He made a few points about Star Wars and also rambles like a grandpa. Who's the more rambler, Lucas or me? Who rambles more? I saw an interview, got some headlines from him, a recent-ish interview, and then it got taken down or something. Whoever was hosting the interview, the channel or network, but I didn't see it. Give me the key points, Simon. What were the main talking points from it? If a message is deleted from the chat, it means it doesn't exist. That was in regards to Marco's deleted message. Okay. I don't know what's going on. I'm learning as I go along. Chad has not seen the hidden interview from Simon. Not from Simon, but the one Simon was referring to. Right. This is the all-important hashtag from saying he read there. I blame Chad. Kino's here as well. He thought it was decent. I think he means the Bad Batch. Kino, I haven't forgotten to give you some context to the Rio Ferdinand picture. All right, that will come eventually. I'm not doing good this week with social media and keeping up with messages. Not that I get many, but I'm still struggling. Right, Simon D. Billy and Dominic is like the Office ladies, but with Lord of the Rings, not the US Office. I'm in for that podcast. I am in for that podcast on May the 18th. Boil 'em, mash 'em, stick 'em in a podcast. Thumbs up from Clays. Sidge, not watched Stranger Things yet. Excited for it. You've not watched any of it. What do you mean you've not watched the trailer? Because if you haven't seen any of it, I don't know why you'd be so excited about it. Unless it was just, just the words I've used, conjured such emotions within you. I think you mean the trailer. You haven't seen the trailer yet. Chad, in regards to the Stranger Things trailer, was a little disappointed in the lack of anything in regards to a date. Yeah, no release date. And you would have thought, it was a teaser trailer, really, wasn't it? What was it, like a minute and 10 seconds or something? You would have expected at least a date tagged on at the end there. Brian, the filmmaker, is here. Hello, Brian. Good to see you again, my friend. Phil Hawkins, in regards to Stranger Things as well, do we think Papa, Dr. Brenner, is still alive and now working under duress for the Russians? I think it's possible because, so at the end of season 3, was it a post-credit scene? Can't remember. But anyway, when we're in the Russian sort of prison, one of the guards says, they're feeding humans, aren't they, to the Demogorgon? And one of the Russians says, no, not the American. And some of the talk was, at that point, we didn't know if Hopper was, still alive. But some of the talk was it Papa? Was it the doctor, the good doctor? Well, a bad doctor. As you said, Phil, yeah, perhaps still alive and now working under duress for the Russians. But then we got the other sort of teaser trailer thing ages ago now, because obviously they started filming a long time ago, and they were one of the productions, many productions that got caught up with the start of the pandemic and had to shut down. But we do know Hopper is now at least an American that's in that prison. There could be more than one American, I guess. So it can't be ruled out. Sige, I swear in season 2 of Stranger Things, so you have seen Stranger Things, it was the trailer for sure. They mentioned Papa still being alive. I feel like it's been hinted at. It's never been obviously confirmed, but I feel like it has been hinted at. Yeah. And Phil agrees. Yes, another character claimed he was alive, but I don't think it was ever definitely confirmed. Yeah. Sage, regarding Doctor Strange, it's a fair point on Doctor Strange. I feel like that's given Marvel its longevity. Other movie universes just cram stuff in. Sorry for butchering that message of yours there. Simon D, in regards to Stranger Things, I watched the first series of Stranger Things, which was decent enough, but I felt I'd seen enough after the first series. Plus, I can't afford Netflix now of all these excessive Patreon demands. Don't make me feel more guilty. Hey, you can, please don't, but you can cancel your subscription at any time, though, if you need to, of course, do it. And that just reminds me, actually, let me do this now because I do forget. I always forget. Thank you to all Patreon members. All of them, including Simon, who is a Patreon member, but not on the tier where you get your name up in lights like this. But Simon, look, I've put your message up at the same time. So it's all the same, isn't it? But yeah, Netflix, man, the prices keep going up. So I'm with you on that. And like I said this last week, when you expected to have Amazon, Netflix, Disney Plus, like I said before, if you're a sports fan, you'll have your Sky Sports package. If you're in the States, there's other ones, isn't there, like HBO and all that. They need to just have one, just all clubbed together and have one fee. All adds up. And then you have silly little YouTubers like me and their Patreons as well. Right. Sandy Red, so good to have a new Star Wars show to look forward to watching again. Really digging the Bad Batch. Yeah, let's talk about the Bad Batch then. First of all, though, Daniel on the Stranger Things trailer. The trailer didn't get him excited. Just felt like they had nothing new to tell. Yeah, it was very much a kind of we're still here sort of trailer, wasn't it? And maybe it was all flashback footage shot especially for that trailer. The thing with having no release date, I'm sort of thinking, is it an official trailer? Is it just like a kind of online tease, and won't be classed as an official trailer? I don't know. Hey up, Crosby, welcome to you. Oh, okay. I get very confused. It comes naturally to me, confusion. Right. We've got something here from Chad on the Mandalorian season 3. My personal feeling is that Grogu will return, but not until halfway through. I don't think they will kill Grogu. They'll probably say he was in a ship at the end of episode 9. As I feel there is a new excuse for everything. Well, there can be a new excuse for everything. Yeah, I don't think they'll kill Grogu. Too popular. Halfway through the season would still be a bit too early for me. Maybe he can be the cliffhanger arrival at the end of the season. And I want him back. I love their partnership, but I just feel after, how season 2 ended, they need to sort of, not undo all of the emotions I felt for their separation. Right. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about the Bad Batch. I can see a few people have put in their views. Let me know what you thought of it. Keep it spoiler free. So what I'm going to be doing with the channel in terms of the Bad Batch, Star Wars is the main thing this channel does. So I know this is a funny one because not everybody's into the animated stuff. I wasn't previously. Going to talk about that in a moment. So I know it's not going to have the same kind of it's not quite the same vibe perhaps as the Mandalorian was, but it would be weird if I didn't cover it on a weekly basis. So I am going to be covering it on a weekly basis. I've got off to a slow start for 2 reasons. One, I've had this weird little virus for ages now where I sort of up and down. One day I'm all right. Next day I'm just brain fog. So anyway, I've been useless physically, emotionally. sexually, probably. No change there, to be honest. So I am going to do a weekly thing, but also the other reason why I haven't started yet is because, as you'll know, if most of you here are regulars to the stream, I came late to the Clone Wars, the animated series party in general for Star Wars. I've always been about the films. My first Star Wars cinema experience was the special editions and then obviously the prequels. So I've always been about the films. And then the Mandalorian as well. So I guess the live action Star Wars has always been my Star Wars. And there were a few of the expanded universe books in the past that I read, but I've never been a big reader. And, I was a gamer for a small bit of time. I had Shadows of the Empire. And, so really, there's been a few little I guess, flirtatious acts with non-cinematic Star Wars content, but really it's predominantly been the films for me. And I think because I saw the Clone Wars movie, I just dismissed it after that. I didn't give the series a chance. And I guess the series, and I know this now, having seen the majority of it, it does get better and better. And therefore I think, the noise around it grew louder as well, to the point where it got harder for me to avoid, to the point where I had to sort of watch it if I wanted to, cover the Bad Batch properly. Sort of. So I got up to the Clone Wars season 6, to the end of it, last time we spoke. And this little kind of bug I've had, it's not the good bug where, you're sort of hungover or that kind of ill where you can watch stuff just like, vegetate in bed and just watch stuff, just binge on Netflix or whatever. I wasn't that kind. It's like the kind of sleepy kind. So it's not been good illness in a kind of productive sense for binging. So in the end, I'd got into season 7, but I haven't finished season 7. Luckily, all I've seen are the first 4 episodes, which is the Bad Batch arc of season 7, which has helped, obviously, because now I've jumped forward to the Bad Batch. Now the first episode is out. I saw it yesterday for the first time, but I will have to go back to the rest of the Clone Wars after the Bad Batch. I will finish it because it's got better and better by the seasons. I said before as well, not just in terms of the storylines, and there are a lot of episodes I could have done without, that I think a lot of people have said this sort of your side questy things, where it doesn't sort of add that much to the overall story, but there's some great arcs in there and some great sort of character building as well for characters that maybe I didn't care so much about from the prequels. Spending more time with them in the animated series, you kind of care more about them. And also it has, humanized the clones as well. So this is a spoiler. If you haven't seen the Clone Wars season 7, I'm giving you a few seconds warning. When Echo gets saved and then chooses to join the Bad Batch, I actually felt quite sad. I felt that a bit. He's a clone. So it humanizes the clones, and then I'd be interested to watch the prequels, again, having seen, the Clone Wars now, and because we didn't spend much time with and see much of the relationships between the Jedi and the clones in the films. You had a few sort of cheesy exchanges between like Obi-Wan and Commander Cody, but there wasn't that much there, which is understandable. But the Clone Wars really does build on those relationships, and like I said before, humanize the clones. So I've really enjoyed the Clone Wars. I've really enjoyed it. I will not lie, and I will talk more about the Clone Wars once the Bad Batch is done and I've officially finished the Clone Wars. But yeah, talking about the Bad Batch, just my views, and then I'll come over to what you guys thought in the chat. I mean, is it just fair to say it's the Clone Wars season 8? I mean, I don't know how season 7 finishes, but it feels like a kind of continuation in a way. But I really liked being kind of on. Obviously, when we see Revenge of the Sith and the Clone Wars end, and Order 66 is executed. We're sort of seeing it from Palpatine's point of view and the Jedi's point of view, but I quite like the sort of seeing it from the clones' point of view and the sort of outsider point of view, the people on the kind of fringes, like the Bad Batch themselves. That was really cool. So you hear early on in the episode Aftermath, so it is literally the aftermath of Order 66. But to begin with, we hear about the Kenobi is engaged with Grievous and the war is about to end. And then Palpatine, you know, that famous line, hologram message to Commander Cody to execute Order 66. And, you know, you see it from the clone's perspective, and the Bad Batch kind of caught up in it. And I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed, you know, that very famous, I guess, event in Star Wars history, seeing it from a certain point of view, a different point of view. So really enjoyed that. And we get to go to Camino. There's a lot of time spent on Camino, which looks brilliant. I love seeing the animated Camino, where Amiga is met. So Amiga's been in quite a lot of the. I haven't really watched the trailers, but she was definitely in the trailers because I saw people tweeting about her afterwards. And she's kind of like the clone girl that we don't know much about yet, but has a connection with Hunter, who will presumably play the protector of Amiga. So is she like the, I guess she's like the Grogu of the series, perhaps, but we don't really know much about that. And yeah, there was, I believe, for people who have watched Rebels, there might have been a little cameo as well. And also, I suppose, a Rogue One cameo as well, but we're not going to go into too much detail on that. Over on the Discord, Stanley Red, who is in the chat, he didn't actually give it a score. In fact, I can't read your message out because you mentioned one of the potential spoilers. But you did say, Stanley Red did say he thought it was a pretty solid opener. Brad Snoke gave it 7 out of 10, which is the score I give it, by the way. 7 out of 10 for episode 1, Aftermath. And Chad gave it 8 out of 10. Seth, my man, gave it 8 out of 10 as well. So pretty strong response, it would seem. But by the way, I'm coming over to the chat to see what you guys thought of it. What I'm going to be doing with the Bad Batch in regards to the channel is I'm going to do something very quick and edited on either the Friday or the Saturday. For the first week, it's going to be the Saturday because I'm still sort of planning it and making the kind of, you know, the branding for it and all that. And then on the Monday or Tuesday, depending on guest availability, I will be doing a live stream where we will talk together as we do in the chat, along with a guest for each episode. I've said this before. With the Mandalorian, for example, there was sort of no need for me to be in a rush to put content out in regards to an episode that's just been released from a sort of YouTube algorithm point of view, because I ain't going to rank, you know, so I don't have the pressure to get it out instantly. And also I kind of think by doing the stream, so the episode comes out Friday, by doing it like 3 days later, 3 or 4 days later, it gives more of us a chance to actually watch the damn thing. So we don't have to worry about spoilers so much. So we can all talk together in the chat. So yeah, on the Friday and the Saturday, I'll be releasing a very short kind of pre-recorded edit, sort of probably non-spoiler review. And then on the Monday or Tuesday, again, depending on guest availability, so there'll be a bit of flexibility there. We'll be doing a live stream where we can all chat about it together. Spoilers and all. All right, let's see what people are thinking. I'm just checking, because normally I just put the comments up. I'm just checking before I put them up to make sure there's no trailers. Phil Hawkins, no spoilers. I watched The Bad Batch in the end. In brackets, I'd been considering holding off until I was caught up with the Clone Wars. Okay, we're in the same boat then. I thought it was good. Interesting premise setup. Looking forward to seeing where it goes. Yeah, I think it was a good opener as well for a casual fan, because to be honest, it helped seeing those 4 episodes of the Clone Wars where the Bad Batch are introduced, but I don't think it would have mattered too much if I hadn't. Obviously, Order 66, all casual Star Wars fans know about that. And also, I think they actually reintroduced the characters pretty well. If you were going in cold, I think it was a pretty good introduction as well. Obviously, most people watching the Bad Batch already know the characters, but I didn't. I did, but I feel like if you didn't, you wouldn't be too alienated, and you'd get to know them all and their individual strengths, if you like, and personalities pretty quickly. Brian, the filmmaker, I really enjoyed the first episode of The Bad Batch, even more than I expected. Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of positivity towards it. The deleted thing's still going. I like that. I like any sort of power between. Let's have some power between quotes. It's only natural. He deleted your message and you wanted revenge. I might have flu. I might have flu. I don't think it's flu. I'm not like bedbound. It's just like some days I'm fine. Next day I'm not. Yo-yoing. Yeah, I've been having the paracetamols though. Thank you, Crosby. Ogredon. After Marvel and Mando, Bad Batch is teen teaser for adult fandom. Unsatisfying for a week, but perfectly good in of itself. David says I'm still a gamer in his book. Once a gamer, always a gamer. Sidge says he'd like to hear when I finish the Clone Wars what episodes I can watch and see the best of it. There are a lot. And I've probably, like, from what I've seen in terms of the season, I've probably seen like 70% of the episodes in each season. And Chad told me, I think the other day, and he will confirm if he's still in the chat, there's some good articles online, he was saying, which actually tell you the episodes you really need to see, which are the sort of the main arcs, if you like, because there are some sort of standalone, slightly random episodes. So I'll give you my take on that, yeah, for sure. But you can access that information online already, I believe, according to Chad. Some of the newer Star Wars games have been awesome for storyline content and feel almost like live action, i.e. Battlefront 2, Fallen Order, Squadrons. That's from David. Yeah, I feel like I would get into all of those games. I don't have a console or anything anymore, but maybe it's for the best I don't get into it again. We'll see. Ewan, hello. Hey, Jamie. Hey, you. Clone Wars Seasons 4 and especially 5 are solid, especially the final episode of Season 5 with Ahsoka is heartbreaking, but then I'm a 47-year-old emotional wreck. We're all emotional wrecks. We all are. Brian, the best of Season 7 is to come. The last 4 episodes are amazing. Yeah, I'm looking forward to diving back into that. I might be able to get into it before the Bad Batch finishes. Once I get back to sort of normal productivity. But yeah, I'm looking forward to I've enjoyed it. I have really enjoyed it. Resistance is the unseen Star Wars. I assume it's canon. It's definitely more childish than Clones, Bad Batch, but it has some of the greatest troops, locations, mechanics for new Star Wars. Well, I learned last week from you guys that Rebels is not actually that childish, because I just always assumed, haven't seen it, I just always assumed that Rebels was kind of more aimed at kids, younger kids at least, younger emotional wrecks. But no, I was told that in many ways it's darker than the Clone Wars Rebels. So I'll be moving on to Rebels after the Bad Batch, after I've concluded Clone Wars. Right. What else? More support for the end of Season 7 for the Clone Wars. It's like a movie, and a great one at that, David said. Simon D, this is in regards to all of the too many streaming platforms. I can't afford all the multiple streaming platforms, so I get discs in the post from Cinema Paradiso, as I prefer Blu-ray, 4K disc quality, and have all the content I require in one place for one monthly price. Sound. Yeah. Where am I? Sandy Red. Pretty awesome. They had Tom Kane back as the announcer at the start of the Bad Batch episode. Hope he's doing all right. He had a stroke recently. Yeah, I heard about that. I didn't know he did. I didn't know he was the announcer voice though. I know he did. I think he did the Akbar voice for The Last Jedi because Eric Bowsfeld, the original voice, had sadly passed away. But I did hear about him having a stroke. Yes, I hope he's on the mend as well. But I love the announcements at the start, and I suppose that's why I said it's just felt like Clone Wars season 8, probably because of that continuity with the announcing at the beginning. Phil says the Rebels cameo at the beginning was nice, but it did contradict the previously established origin of the character from a comic. Yeah, I saw some tweets about this. Didn't bother me because I don't read the comics. I haven't even watched Rebels yet. But I've seen some tweets from people who were a bit bothered about that, and that's fine. Frogger, hello you. Bad Batch was awesome. Glad you enjoyed it. And Frogger adds, I liked Omega too. A child character that isn't annoying. Wasn't expecting that. Yeah, she wasn't annoying. And also, they're setting something up here, aren't they? She's still quite mysterious. And she wasn't annoying and mysterious to the point where I don't care what this mystery is. I don't care about unraveling your mystery because you're just annoying me. I do care. I'm intrigued to see what more we learn about her and where her story goes. Crosby. Also, I don't know what the first message was. I must have missed that. But anyway, the second one, you know how Chris Bunn said he was the original Stormtrooper? Yeah, he says that. Well, it seems the website Nerf Heard is Anonymous credits Dennis Plenty as the original Stormtrooper. I ain't going there, though. Yeah, I ain't going there. I ain't doing another investigation. Look, I mean, I don't know how much of the Star Wars thing is down to people wanting more credit than they deserve in terms of, being able to sell more at conventions, or if it's just bad memories, because obviously with the OG, the actors are obviously of a certain age now. Chris Bunn claims to be the original Stormtrooper. He says he was the one that they actually did the cast for the outfits. Might have been, but I have heard a few dispute it. Actually, one person that you all know from my content even disputed it, and he's a friend of Chris's, but I'm not going to name him. I might have given enough clues there. So I don't know. It might be true. It might not be true. But there's a lot of disagreements and uncertainty in terms of piecing every historical detail, I think, behind the scenes with Star Wars. But yeah, another mission for you, Crosby, maybe. Not for me. I'm not doing any more investigations for a little while anyway. Okay, so this is about the George Lucas interview, and I think you said, Simon, that it's on Star Wars Theories channel. I'll have a look. I just don't watch enough YouTube, but I should support other content creators. I don't think he needs my support though. I think he's the big one, isn't he? Yeah, we're not having Empire Strikes Door Part 2. I mean, if we were, you'd need to wait another 5 years because, man, those things take a while. Brydonian, welcome. Work. Not watched Bad Batch either. I still need to see the final Clone Wars series. As a big fan of Clone Wars and Rebels, expect to enjoy. Big glad to hear positive views on it already. Yeah, this is a spoiler-free place. I would say to you, though, I didn't feel like... Okay, so... there were some Rebels things I didn't, that didn't make their mark on me in terms of cameos. In fact, Sanely Red explained it to me in the Discord. But yeah, I saw 4 episodes of Clone Wars final series, the first 4 episodes of the Bad Batch arc, and that was more than enough, really. So you don't need to watch the final series unless you want to do it all in order. Pro tip from Daniel here. Google Stadia, no need for consoles or powerful PC. Well, I don't have a powerful PC, as I think most of you on these streams know. All cloud gaming, Jedi Fallen Order is included in the Pro tier, which at least in Canada is $12 a month, or just get a standalone game. Well, so you're playing them online, basically. I've never heard of it. So you just play them online. Yeah, that could be cool. But I'd need to get like a USB remote or something, I guess, for my laptop. But I've never heard of that. But that sounds cool. Although, is it another subscription thing, Daniel? Are you trying to get me to sign up for another subscription thing? Oh, okay. So, I mean, like all voice actors, really, you don't just do one role. So Tom Kane also did the voice of Yoda and Admiral Yularen. Is that how you pronounce it? Excuse me. A little burp there. It's just human nature doing its thing. Anyway, that was from Sanely Red. The comment, not the burp. Ogredon, Rebel progressed like Harry Potter. Kid light to adult dark. Clone War progressed from teen grey to adult grey. Resistance season 1 grows like Rebels but fleshes out Poe. Oh, okay, it's Poe in it. So is Resistance, obviously Resistance, the Resistance. Okay, so that's like a prequel to the sequels, right? Yeah. Prydonian has confirmed that he will not be watching Out of Order. He says, my OCD won't let me watch it out of order. Fair enough. To be honest, I wouldn't have done it this way, but I need to, like I mentioned before, this channel, the main thing it does is Star Wars, amongst other things. So it would be really weird if I wasn't doing something a week on it. So I guess I've only gone out of order for the purpose of delivering to you good people on the channel. But like I said, there will be something spoiler free and then spoiler as well. So Crosby, you're going to solve the Stormtrooper mystery and you want to ask me something. When you interviewed Bunn, did he mention a guy named James Moore? He's a guy I'm looking into right now. He was allegedly a friend of his. No, he didn't. Chris Bunn's on Facebook and pretty responsive, so you could ask him on Facebook. But I don't think he did. There's Brian Moore, who's the one of the sculpture guys. He did Darth Vader helmet, didn't he? And he has some Stormtrooper beef as well, which I'm not going to go into. But he and the name's left me. Not going into it anyway. But there's all sorts of Stormtrooper beef out there. But yeah, you could ask Chris on Facebook. Again, he's active. He's responsive. Yeah, basically, the Stormtrooper factory I went to in the Empire Strikes Door, there's a bit of dispute about how much, I can't remember his name, I met him, how much involvement he actually had in the original designs, and Brian Muir is part of that dispute against him, if you like. But again, something else I'm not getting into. Star Wars Theory isn't as good as you, Jamie. Thank you, Simon. See, the Patreon is worth it, right? Daniel, in regards to was it Google Stadia? It's basically like watching Netflix, and you can use any controller you have. I don't have one, but I can get one. Or even, no, I don't want to use a keyboard, but you can just buy the game and not pay monthly. Oh, okay, you can just buy it as a single download. All right. Why? You're going to turn me into a gamer. You lot turned me into a Clone Wars viewer, potentially now a Rebels viewer, and potentially you're going to be bringing the gamer back out of me. But as David said earlier, once a gamer, always a gamer. I love you, Christian. If you're talking to me, you might be talking to Simon. You might be talking to Brian, the filmmaker. You might be talking to Ogredon. Yes, Chris Bunn has Facebook. It's just his name, Chris Bunn, and I think it's a pretty obvious photo as well. It's not like a disguised Facebook or anything like that. But he's on it, as is Laurie Good as well. And those guys kind of use it as it's their kind of public page. It's a profile, but they run it like a public page. You know, it's everyone they meet on conventions and stuff, and their friends on it. It's not like a private, closed sort of Facebook profile, if you know what I mean. Dale, I think there's two orders for the Clone Wars. There is the order of release and the order that they were intended to be watched, which are completely different in the early seasons. Yeah, I think when I go back to the Clone Wars, I might go back a few seasons again and maybe re-look at some of the orders I was watching it in, because at one point I was just plowing through, you know. But I might look at some of those articles that Chad told me about, which Sige as well should look up in terms of episodes that you crucially need to watch. Oh, the plan is the never-ending plan. Get me into reading comics next. I'd rather read a comic than a book. I really would. The internet's just killed my kind of attention span, I think, with books. And like, I haven't had a holiday. So like if you follow me on Instagram or something, like me 2 years ago, I was traveling everywhere and that was for work stuff. So it probably looked like I was on holiday all the time, but it was, promise, mostly for work stuff. And what was my point? Yeah, so I haven't had a holiday, an actual holiday. I don't know, 3-4 years maybe. So like, just never switch off. And I feel I have to switch off to concentrate on something like a book, because the attention span is short in normal times. I need a holiday. Yeah, you will. You will. Sidge is on the Star Wars comic book run right now. All right. Well, I think I've caught up with all the comments. If there's anything I've missed and you desperately want me to read it, then copy and paste it back in. And I think Brian's called it. I think it's time. To start hanging up on me. Is there anything I was meant to mention? Oh yeah, don't forget. So the Alamo Studio, Chad's channel, go and check it out. And the documentaries they've made, you don't see Chad in, or Tyler, his partner in filmmaking crime, but you'll see him in this little interview they've done with me. And I think they're going to release some more clips as well from the 2-day chat that we had. So that's linked in the video description. Oh yeah, if anyone has any ideas for a name for the Bad Batch weekly spoiler review stream that I'm going to do with a guest, let me know. At the moment, I've just got like the Bad Batch chat. I hate coming up with names. The good chat, the Bad Batch good chat. I don't know. Let me know if you think of something and I'll credit you. And also, what I was thinking as well was, I haven't actually scheduled the guests yet, but I have a list of guests, who've been on before. I'll Frogger all the time. To be honest, even before I go live, usually there's a thumbs down. Not always, actually, but there often is a thumbs down before the stream starts. To be honest, the moment I scheduled the stream, I lost a lot of subscribers earlier. I don't know. YouTube's weird. I don't know. The Bad Chat. Yeah, I like saying it. I don't know if it works on the on text or the chat batch. Yeah, it could be the chat batch. I'll have a think about that, Sidge, and I'll come back to you. Or Baddie McBatch Face. It's a boat name, isn't it? But also, I was thinking, so I've got a load of guests that I'm going to schedule. Some you'll know, some have been on before, some haven't been on before, but I think you'll definitely know. But also, I was thinking perhaps for the final episode, I know a few of you have said to do this in the past. We could do like a phone in. Well, not like a phone in, like a stream in or a Zoom in or whatever. So if you like, you guys, we do all together. Like obviously the chat will still be there. Not everybody wants to come on camera or just audio. It can just be audio, but we could do it like a kind of phone in style. If you want to, for perhaps the finale, who knows? But every week the chat will be, the big focus as well with the guest that I have on. The Bad Batch catch up or the Sad Batch, the Sad Patch. Yeah, who knows? I'll have a think. I might not have a name. Who knows? But thank you for the suggestions, and I will. Yeah, you're gonna have to watch it, I guess. But like, this will be the final episode, I reckon. It feels like a good finale, bring everyone together. So you've got time, Sidge. You've got time. Check out some of those articles that Chad mentioned. Benedict Cumber Bad Batch. I'll just end up saying Benedict Cucumber Patch, which is his real name, by the way. Jamie's Feed Batch. Yeah. Although it's the guest and you guys. It's not about me. Final episode, shed party at Jamie's. Yeah, virtual shed party. Batch gone bad. Hopefully not. But yeah, there's some good ones. And some bad ones in a fun way. But anyway, thank you, everyone. I think that's it. Bad Batch of the day. But we'll do that. So Sidge is already up for being a guest on the final one. So let's get more of you. Even if you haven't seen it, Simon, just come on anyway. So yeah, we'll do that for the final episode. I think there's like 14. So this would be like June or July. But anyway, we will Echo's Chamber. Nice. We will come to that at some point. All right, we've gone over the hour mark, so that's enough to annoy Chad, I think. I reckon we'll wrap up. So thank you all, honestly, for joining me for whatever this has been. Once again, we did some stories, we did some rambling, we've all had a chat, and once again, Chad has failed because it's gone over the hour mark. 30-minute stream. It's just not going to happen, is it? Right. Thank you, everybody. Take care, and I will hopefully see you all this time next week. In fact, before, because we'll do the first stream for the Bad Batch, but that will be spoiler riddled with spoilers, so I may not see all of you for that one. But the Geeknd Live, the regular Geeknd Live, will be back next Thursday. So we'll see you all soon. All right, you hang up. No, you hang up. No, you hang up. Please hang up. Okay, I'm going to hang up now. Goodbye.